Good morning, students. Today we are going to start lesson 1 of geography, that is resources catering to our needs. Students, do you know what are resources? Resources are all those things which fulfill the needs of human beings that are called resources. Now we need so many things to survive. There are so many things around us. Nature has also provided us so many things which are required for our survival. But it is very important to understand that resources are not, they become. What do you mean by that? It means that a thing becomes a resource only when humans utilize it. The things which are not explored and not utilized, they are found in nature, they are called neutral stuff. Now the things which are there in nature but they are not explored, they are not found by human being, and they have not been utilized by human being, that is called neutral stuff. And when this neutral stuff is explored, is found by human being, and he utilizes it according to his need, then it becomes a resource. So the nature has provided us with so many natural things like water, soil, air, energy, trees, etc. Now water is provided by nature. If it is not, when there was early man was there, he was also having so many natural things around him. He was using those things in their natural form only. But slowly and slowly, when he learned that he can modify them according to his needs, so then they became resources. He was a hunter and gatherer. He used to kill animals and eat them. He used to gather fruits to satisfy his hunger. He was wearing clothes which were made of skin of animals or bark of trees or leaves. Lived a very simple life and his needs were also very limited. But as population grew, there was a change in the lifestyle of human being. Now he needed so many other things. He wanted now more things. More number of things were required as the number of people has increased. So this led to change in the utilization of resources. Now modern man, his requirement is more than as compared to the early man. He uses the resources in many ways. Now he is not, now if we compare ourselves with the ancient man or the early man, is our lifestyle equal to the lifestyle of early man? No. We are using resources in many ways. We have modified the things in nature according to our needs, but early man was using those things which were provided by nature in their natural form only. They were not changing them. For example, in earlier times, water was used by human being only for drinking, bathing and cleaning. But now in the present world, in the modern world, water is used in multiple ways. For example, it is used in agriculture, it is used in industries, and it is also used to generate electricity. Now, there are two types of resources: natural resources and human made resources. Which are natural resources? The resources which are provided to us by nature. For example, soil, air, water, trees, these all are natural resources. And human being convert these natural resources into a valuable product, or he modifies the natural resources according to his requirement. Those things are called human made resources. For example, human being has converted wood into paper. So wood is a natural resource and paper is a human made or man made resource. In the same way, furniture is also made of wood and wood is obtained from forest. So these are natural resources, and furniture is a man made resource. In the same way, soil is a natural resource, and a crop is grown in the soil. That crop is a man made resource. Then, if we talk about water and wind, water is natural resource, wind is natural resource, and it is converted into electricity. Electricity is produced from water and wind. Then, electricity is a man made resource. So, in all this conversion of natural things into man-made things, technology has played a very important role. Technology is very important for the development of country. It helps to control, harness means control and use resources. Now, humans, nature and technology. Water was there on the earth prior to human existence. When human being has not existed, before that only water was available on the earth. In the early period, it was used only for drinking, cleaning and bathing. But in modern time, we are using that water to produce electricity. It is called hydroelectricity. We are using water in in multiple ways, you can say, so many other ways also. And how it is possible, how it has become possible to use water in so many ways? It has become possible only with the help of technology and knowledge. And this technology and knowledge, who is having who is having the knowledge? Human beings are having the knowledge, and with their knowledge they have used technology to convert natural resources into man-made resources. Now, for examples, there were mineral deposits in USA, but they were useless to the people living there in that area. Unless the Europeans came to USA, they explored those mineral deposits, and they made these mineral deposits valuable. So what do you mean by that? That unless and until human being has not used his knowledge, used technology to convert the natural resources which are available in particular area, till that time those resources are not having any value. The value is added to the natural resource only when human being with his knowledge and with technology convert that resource into a valuable product. So only human beings, they have the command over the knowledge and skills. They know how to use technology. So with the help of this technology and their knowledge and their skills, they convert this natural resources into important resources. For example, the farmer, he work hard to convert a piece of land into agricultural land. Similarly, with the help of skill, knowledge, and technology, human being is able to create mega structures like flyovers, buildings, canals, dams, etc. So you can compare, think about so many things which you are using now in modern period. Who has made those things? How it has become possible to make our life comfortable with the help of so many things. Now we are technology has made our, you can say, life comfortable. You can see the example now only during this lockdown period. The classes are not there, school is not there, but you are attending the classes online, and through this, you can say, uh, technology, that has become possible only through the technology, that we are attending, we are interacting with each other. We are teaching you, and you are listening to us, and you are taking that knowledge. So that is also a part of technology. Now we can divide the resources into various other types on certain basis. Like on the basis of origin, we can divide the resources into two types: biotic and abiotic. Biotic means living, abiotic means non-living. Now which resources come are living? Plants and animals, they are living resources. They are plants, they give us food, they are the primary producers of food. Plants also give us so many other things like medicines, fruits, cotton, uh, oil, so many other things we get from plants. Then animals, they are also very useful to us. They are domesticated for eggs, milk, wool, etc. All the biotic resources, they have the capacity to reproduce. All of you know the meaning of reproduce, that they can produce so many things. वो आगे की आगे पैदा कर सकते हैं चीज़ों को. लाइक प्लांट्स, व्हेन वी कंज्यूम द products of plants that are not finished, they are reproduced. So that is why they are inexhaustible resources. Inexhaustible resources means which are not finished, they can be regenerated again. So they are inexhaustible resources. The next are abiotic resources, which are non-living. Now which are non-living? Soil, water, minerals, etc. They are all part of non-living environment and they are called abiotic resources. Now they are having certain limit, they are limited in quantity. So that is why if we will overutilize all these things, then they can become extinct or they can exhaust. So they cannot be regenerated again. So this was the division of resources on the basis of their origin. Now the division of resources on the basis of renewability. There are two types of resources based on renewability: renewable resources and non-renewable resources. We can call them inexhaustible resources and exhaustible resources. Now, renewable resources which can be regenerated or replenished. Replenished means regenerated or reformed. Again, once when they are used, they can be regenerated again. That are called renewable resources or inexhaustible resources. For example, solar energy. Solar energy is made from sun. When it is used, it can be regenerated from the energy of the sun. Tidal energy. Tidal energy is the energy which is produced from the waves, water waves. So that can also be regenerated. Wind energy is produced from wind, that can also be regenerated. So these are all renewable forms of energy. Next are non-renewable resources. These resources cannot be regenerated. They are available in a fixed quantity. If they can be regenerated, then it will take millions of years. For example, coal and petroleum, they are non-renewable resources. They are also called fossil fuels. What are fossil fuels? Fossil fuels which are formed due to the decomposition of buried dead organisms and plants. So when the dead remains of plants and animals, they are buried in the earth, they are decomposed, and after millions of years they convert into coal and petroleum. So see children, so it takes so millions of years in the formation of coal and petroleum. And if they are overused, if we will over consume coal and petroleum, then they will get finished one day and it will take another millions of years to regenerate these coal and petroleum. So that is why these are called non-renewable resources. Next division of resources is on the basis of development. Now, there are two types of resources on the basis of development: actual resources and potential resources. Now, you listen carefully the difference between actual resources and potential resources. What are actual resources? Actual resources are those resources which are already in use. We are using them. Technology is being used. We have explored them. We know that how much quantity of these resources is available. What is the quality of that resource? So that is called actual resource. For example, water is an actual resource. We know the quantity and quality of water. How can we use it? Where we can use it? So everything is known to the human being. Technology is used already. We are using technology to make use of water in so many ways. Similarly, wind energy is also an actual resource because in so many countries it is used to generate electricity. So many windmills are installed in order to generate electricity. But on the other hand, what are potential resources? Potential resources are those resources which are available in a particular region, but it has not been surveyed or explored by human being. It is not in use at present. Technology is required to know its quantity and quality, then only it can be used. It means that particular area is having potential of any, you can say, resource, but it is not, it will not become actual resource unless and until it is not known, it is not surveyed. We don't know its quality and quantity. So that is called potential resource, which is particular area which is having capacity. For example, now in Rajasthan there is a potential of to produce solar energy because it is very hot there. Direct rays of sun are falling on in the Rajasthan. There is a, it is having potential, it is having capacity to produce solar energy. Potential उसमें है, उसमें capacity है. In future, when human being will know that in this area the solar energy can be produced, then it will become an actual resource. But still it is not used. Technology is not used there to explore it, to make, to convert that sunlight into solar energy. Till that time it will remain potential energy. पोटेंशियल उसमें है, कैपेसिटी उसमें है, पड़ी है उसमें, उस एरिया में उस वो एनर्जी पड़ी है, लेकिन वो तब तक एक्चुअल रिसोर्स नहीं बनती जब तक उसको यूज़ नहीं किया जाता, उसको ह्यूमन बीइंग अपनी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करके उसका एक्चुअल में उसकी क्या क्वांटिटी है, क्या क्वालिटी है, उसको जान नहीं लेता, तब तक वो पोटेंशियल रहती है. जब व्हेन इट विल बी यूज्ड, then it will become actual resource. Another example of this is that places like Siberia and Antarctica, they are they are having a bulk of potential mineral resources. Means they are supposed to have, उसमें पता है कि वहाँ हो सकते हैं बहुत सारे मिनरल रिसोर्सेज, लेकिन अभी तक उसको सर्वे ही नहीं किया गया कि एक्चुअल में कितने मिनरल्स हैं, क्या मिनरल्स की क्वालिटी है. तो तब तक वो पोटेंशियल ही रहेंगे. जब उसका सर्वे हो जाएगा कि इस यहाँ पर इस एरिया में इस तरह का मिनरल है, इतनी क्वांटिटी में है, ये टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करके हम उसको मिनरल्स को यूज़ कर सकते हैं, तब तक वो पोटेंशियल ही रहेगा. और जब उसको हम यूज़ कर लेंगे then it will become actual. Similarly, Africa, it is having a huge potential of hydropower generation. Why? Because there are so many waterfalls present there. waterfalls हैं वहाँ पर, it means उसमें potential है हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोड्यूस करने की, लेकिन तब तक वो एक्चुअल नहीं बनते जब तक उसको जाकर पता नहीं किया जाता कि वो वाटरफॉल्स की कितना फोर्स है, वाटरफॉल का क्या टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ की जाएगी, उसमें से कैसे हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोड्यूस की जा सकती है, कितनी क्वांटिटी है. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स हैव टू बी नोन, देन ओनली दे कैन बिकम actual resource. Now I hope you have understood the difference between actual and potential resource. Then next division of resources is on the basis of distribution. On the basis of distribution, what do you mean by that? Now, resources are not distributed equally on the earth. For example, now can we find diamond everywhere? No. Can we find all the minerals everywhere? Can you dig out the ground outside your house and you can find out diamond and minerals? No. They are unevenly distributed on the earth. Some places are there which are rich in minerals, but some places are there which are lack in those minerals. So, on the basis of distribution, the division of resources is done in two types, that is ubiquitous resources and localized resources. Now, what are ubiquitous resources? Which are found everywhere. Now, which resources are found everywhere? Sunlight, air, water. These three resources are found everywhere. But localized resources, they are found only in any specific area, any particular area. I have already given you example that diamonds, they are not found everywhere. They are found in South Africa. In the same way, there are lots of minerals are found in India in states of Jharkhand and Odisha. So in India also we cannot find minerals at all the places. There are some places which are rich in minerals. So these are called localized resources. Now our next resources are human made resources. The resources which are made by human beings. Now human being with his knowledge, skill, technology, he has the capacity to change the available resources which are available to him in such a way that it can become useful to him. So he can convert the resources available around him into any valuable product. So he convert the resources, or he convert the raw material present around him in such a way that it becomes useful for human being. It convert it into a finished product. For example, the raw material cotton is converted by human being in the industries to a cloth. He make with the help of knowledge, skill, technology, cotton is converted into cotton cloth by human being. So that cloth is a man made product. In the same way, you can say sugar is obtained from sugarcane. Sugarcane is a raw material and sugar is obtained from sugarcane. That is the activity. Who converts sugar into sugarcane into sugar? Human being converts sugarcane in cane into sugar. So that is human made resource. In the same way, so many things are there which we use in our daily life. For example, we are using pencils to write. So the pencil is made of wood, and which is obtained from forest. So that wood is converted into pencil by a human being. So that is why that pencil is a man made product and wood is natural resource. Now, children, do you know that human beings themselves are also called resources? Human resources are very important resources because only human beings have the capacity or the capability to convert a neutral stuff into a resource. Now, can I ask what is a neutral stuff? The neutral stuff is a thing which lies in the nature but it is not used. So that is a neutral stuff, and when it is used by human being, then it becomes a resource. So human being only have the tools of thought, skill, technology, knowledge, through which he can convert the natural things into a useful product. Human resources, they have both skilled and unskilled workers. Who are skilled workers? Skilled workers are those who are trained in particular tasks, like engineers, doctors, professors, architects, planners, etc. They are all skilled because they have got training. And in the same way, there are unskilled unskilled laborers also. They are they are not trained in any particular field. So both type of human resources are useful for development. So progress of a nation depends upon the both skilled as well as unskilled laborers. Now children, we have till now we have known that resources are very useful to us, they are very important to us. But at the same time, it is very important to save our resources. We should use the resources in optimum way. Optimum way means in the best way. There are abundant of natural resources which are available on the earth, but they are not equally distributed, I have already told you. And that is why, because of this unequal distribution of these resources, their availability is limited, and that is why it results in scarcity of resources. Scarcity means shortage of resources. That is why it is very essential to conserve the quality as well as quantity of resources. Now, what do you mean by conservation? How can we conserve our resources? Conservation means that we should use our resources carefully, in a best way, in optimum way. We should use the method of sustainable development. What is sustainable development? It means that the needs development should be done in such a way that the needs of present generation are also fulfilled, and the resources are available for the future generation also. That we should not only think about the development and the present need of present generation, and we should forget about the future generation. No, we should do the development in such a way that present needs of present generation are also fulfilled, and the resources are available will should be available for the future generation also. They should not be finished for the future generation. That is called sustainable development. Now, we are polluting the resources also. For example, many cities which are located along the rivers, they take water from the rivers and from below the surface of the earth. As the population is growing, the requirement of water is also increasing, and the human being has started over extracting water. वो ज़्यादा पानी, पॉपुलेशन बढ़ रही है तो पानी की कंजम्पशन भी बढ़ रही है. सो दे आर कॉजिंग डिप्लीशन ऑफ वाटर टेबल. जो पानी वाटर टेबल है अंडर द ग्राउंड जो है वो नीचे जा रहा है, वाटर टेबल नीचे गिर रहा है. सो दैट लीड्स टू वाटर स्कार्सिटी इन सर्टेन एरियाज. सो वाटर, देयर इज अ शॉर्टेज ऑफ वाटर इन सो मेनी एरियाज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस over consumption of water. So in similarly, the water is polluted also because so many so much waste is disposed of in the rivers, and so many industries are polluting the water by discharging the waste of industries in the river bodies, in the water bodies. So that is causing water pollution, and polluted water is not fit for consumption, so it can lead to so many health problems. So that is why it is very important to conserve fresh water. So resources should be used in a proper way. We should not waste resources. It is important to use the resources in a judicious way. Judicious way means that we should do justice with the resources. We should think carefully before using the resources, so that they are available to the future generations also. So students, I hope you have understood the whole chapter. So I will send you the question answers of this chapter, so write them in your registers neatly, carefully, without doing cuttings, without doing spelling mistakes. So good day students, have a nice day.